Hi guys, and welcome to a book haul. So I have 10 books. I am pretty happy. It is only 10. I've been much more in control. So let's go ahead and I'll go in and tell you what I have received this month. And I'm going to go in order that I've received them. So the first one being The Evening Hero by Marie Myung-Ok Lee. So there's that one. This one I actually won from a contest on Goodreads. So let me read the synopsis. It says, Dr. Youngman Kwak is in the twilight of his life. Every day for the last 50 years, he has brushed his teeth, slipped on his shoes, and headed to Horse Breath's General Hospital, where, as an obstetrician, he treats the women and babies of the small rural Minnesota town he chooses to call home. This was the life he longed for. He immigrated from Korea after the Korean War, forced to leave behind his family, ancestors' village, and all that he knew. But his life is built on a lie, and one day a letter arrives that threatens to expose it. Youngman's life is thrown into chaos. The hospital abruptly closes. His wife refuses to spend time with him, and his son is busy investing in a struggling health startup. Youngman faces a choice: to hide his secret from his family and friends, or confess and potentially lose all he's worked for. He begins to question the very assumptions on which his life is built, the so-called American dream. With the abject failure of its healthcare system, patients and neighbors who perpetuate racism, a town with flawed infrastructure, and a history that doesn't see him in it. Toggling between the past and the present, Korea and America. This is about a man looking back at his life and asking big questions about what is lost and what is gained when immigrants leave home for new shores. I think this will be very interesting, hence why I entered it, and I am so happy I won a finished copy. So I look forward to getting to this at some point. But yeah, so I won this one from Goodreads. The next book that arrived in my possession is one that I bought from Amazon, and that is The Cheater by R.L. Stine. It's another book in the Fear Street Chronicles, the original Fear Street Chronicles. This one says No Way Out. Carter Phillips is under a lot of pressure to ace her math achievement exam, so much pressure that she gets Adam Messner to take the test for her in exchange for one date. But Adam wants more than a date, much more. Carter has no choice. She has to do whatever he asks. If not, he'll tell her secret and ruin her life. Adam's control over her gets more and more unbearable. Carter is desperate to get rid of him, but how? Is murder the only way? I remember reading this, and I actually enjoyed this one. I read quite a few of the original Fear Street, not all of them. When I bought this one on Amazon, I thought I was buying the mass market paperback, which is most of the Fear Street books. So this one's going to kind of stand out like a sore thumb because this is just a regular paperback. But regardless, at this point, I don't care. I just want to collect them all. I have several more on the way that I just ordered because I did get a gift card. And so I'm really excited for those ones to arrive. But it'll be a bit. They'll arrive throughout the month of July. So, The Cheater by R.L. Stine. Okay, the next book that arrived, or the next 3 books, were all from Book of the Month. So, I'm just going to go from bottom to top or whatever. So the first one that I selected, I think I selected this one as the Book of the Month, and that's The Lies I Tell by Julie Clark. I believe this is a thriller. It says she's back. Meg Williams, Maggie Littleton, Melody Wild. Different names for the same person, depending on the town, depending on the job. She's a con artist who erases herself to become whoever you need her to be: a college student, a life coach, a real estate agent. But nothing about her is real. She slides alongside you and tells you exactly what you want to hear, and by the time she's done, you've likely lost everything. Kat Roberts has been waiting 10 years for the woman who upended her life to return, and now that she has, Kat is determined to be the one to expose her. But as the two women grow closer, Kat's long-held assumptions begin to crumble, leaving Kat to wonder who Meg's true target is. So, yep, thriller. I think this sounded good, so The Lies I Tell. So I did 2 add-ons. You can do with Book of the Month 2 additional add-ons. So I did, and they're like $10 each. So it's like $15 a month. So the first book is the monthly standard charge, and then the next books are $10 each for the ones that you add on. Again, up to 2 books. So one add-on was Things We Do in the Dark by Jennifer Hiller. This one sounds like a thriller. I think it's a thriller. We'll see. It says, when Paris Peralta is arrested in her own bedroom, covered in blood, holding a straight razor, her celebrity husband dead in the bathtub behind her, she knows she'll be charged with murder. But as bad as this looks, that's not what worries her the most. With the unwanted media attention now surrounding her, it's only a matter of time before someone from her long-hidden past recognizes her and destroys the new life she's worked hard to build, along with any chance of a future. 25 years earlier, Ruby Reyes, known as the Ice Queen, was convicted of a similar murder in a trial that was a media sensation and riveted the nation. Reyes knows who Paris really is, and when Reyes is unexpectedly granted an early release from prison, she threatens to expose all of Paris's secrets. Left with no other choice, Paris must finally, once and for all, confront the dark past she thought she escaped. Because the only thing worse than a murder charge is the dark personal history that Paris will do anything to keep hidden. So, Things We Do in the Dark by Jennifer Hiller. Okay, and then the second add-on that I did is like historical fiction, and that's The Wedding Dress Sewing Circle by Jennifer Ryan. Okay, so this one says, after renowned fashion designer Cressida Westcott loses both her home and her design house in the London Blitz, she has nowhere to go but the family manor house she fled decades ago. Praying that her niece and nephew will be more hospitable than her brother had been, Cressida arrives with nothing but the clothes she stands in, at a loss as to how to rebuild her business while staying in a quaint country village. Cressida's niece, Violet Westcott, is thrilled that her famous aunt is coming to stay. The village has been interminably dull, with all the men off fighting. But just as Cressida arrives, so does Violet's conscription letter. It couldn't have come at a worse time. How will she ever find a suitability aristocratic husband if she has to spend her days wearing a frumpy uniform and doing war work? Meanwhile, the local vicar's daughter, Grace Carlyle, is trying in vain to repair her mother's gown, her only chance of a white wedding. When Cressida appears at the local sewing circle meeting, Grace asks for her help, but Cressida has much more to teach the ladies than just simple sewing skills. Before long, Cressida's spirit and ambition galvanize the village group into action, and they find themselves mending wedding dresses not only for local brides, but for brides across the country. And as the women dedicate themselves to helping others celebrate love, they might even manage to find it for themselves. I think this sounds like a very sweet book, and I'm looking forward to that one. Okay. And the next book I got is one that I ordered that I'd had my eye on for a while, Fake Blood, and this is a graphic novel. This one says, it's the beginning of the new school year, and AJ feels like everyone is changing but him. He hasn't grown nor had any exciting summer adventures like his best friends have. He even has the same crush he's had for years. So AJ decides to take matters into his own hands. But how could a girl like Nina Winters ever like plain vanilla AJ when she only has eyes for vampires? That's part of why I wanted this, because it's a whole vampire thing in high school. I think high school, might be middle grade. I don't know. Anyway. When AJ and his crush Nia are paired up for a group project on Transylvania, it may be his chance to win her affection by dressing up like the vampire hunk of her dreams. But soon enough, he's got more... But soon enough, he's got more of Nia's attention than he bargained for when AJ learns she's a slayer. So this is a middle grade. So it's a middle grade graphic novel by Whitney Gardner, and it illustrates a coming of age story for anyone who's ever felt too young, too small, or too average. So yeah, and you know what? It's pretty thick for a graphic novel. Over 300 pages, and I just saw something in the back here that looked really cute. Hall of Fame, Gouda and Fig, they look like pugs. So anyway, so yeah, so I finally caved and bought that one. So I also got, in addition, I do, I don't have it, I've already unhauled it. I do just subscribe to Once Upon a Book Club, and the book for the month of June was Fake It Till You Bake It was an adult romance. It did have a spice scene in it. If you watch the video before my TBR game, you will see I do tell you about it and I go into depth there. I'm unhauling it because I'm just not going to reread it, but it was good. So the other book subscription that I do is Scribbler, and this one sounds so good. Cindernanny by Sarah Wilson, and just because it says Cinder, I suddenly think it's going to be a retelling of Cinderella. So let me read the back. It sounds really cute. It says, she's falling in love with royalty. He's falling in love with a fantasy. With her sister's medical bills mounting, Diana Parker can't say no to a high-paying opportunity like this. Accompany a wealthy couple to Aspen and nanny their precious 5-year-old son for 3 months. Necessary qualifications: she must know how to ski and teach math, speak fluent French, excel at social graces, and hold a master's degree in childhood development. Who will be the wiser that Diana's only skill is packing for Colorado? I have family that lives in Colorado, so that's also partly why I'm really excited for this one. So far, so good. Having a con woman for a mother has turned out to be a benefit, even if Diana has complicated feelings about telling lies. But she's doing this for her sister, and the perks, like a ticket to a lavish charity fundraiser, a new gown, and a Prince Charming adjacent earl named Griffin Windsor, are pretty irresistible. Diana can't deny the Cinderella vibe. So there's definitely Cinderella there. Weary of gold diggers and scandal, England's most eligible bachelor is nevertheless falling for Diana and sweeping the not-quite princess off her feet. The warmer their relationship becomes, the slippier the slopes are for Diana. Slipperier. There you go, slipperier. Slopes are for Diana. Sooner or later, she'll have to come clean. When that happens, does an honest-to-goodness happy ending even stand a chance? So, this sounds good. Okay. And then I got... Okay, and the next book I'm going to show is another book that I won from Goodreads. It looks like it's a finished copy, and that is Scorpion by Christian Cantrell. And this one says, after a tragic loss, CIA analyst Quinn Mitchell hopes to make a new start in her latest assignment, investigating a series of bizarre international assassinations whose victims have been found with numeric codes carved into their flesh. As Quinn follows the killer's trail across the globe, always one body behind, she begins uncovering disturbing connections between the murders and herself. Every lead she tracks down in pursuit of the assassin brings Quinn one step closer to the Epic Index, a mysterious encrypted message discovered in the archives of the Large Hadron Collider. Nothing else can possibly link together a slew of unsolvable murders, an enigmatic and sophisticated serial killer who always seems to be 3 steps ahead, a quirky young physics prodigy whose knowledge extends well beyond her years, and underlying everything, the inescapable tragedy of Quinn's own past. Discovering the meaning of the Epic Index leads Quinn to a shocking twist that shatters everything she thought she knew about the past, the future, and the delicate balance of right and wrong that she must now fight to preserve. So that is the Scorpion, which I'm guessing is the name for, or is just Scorpion. And I'm guessing Scorpion is the name of maybe the serial killer. So yeah, sounds good. The next 2 books I was actually gifted by Amy from AStar Reads. Again, I will link Amy's channel in the description box. Definitely check her out. She is awesome. She got me Adulthood is a Myth. This is by Sarah Anderson, and this I actually found out is part of a series. The gift note says, Christine, this sounded like a super fun and funny read. I think we can all use a good laugh right now. From Amy of AStar Reads. It says, this book is for the rest of us. These comics document the wasting of entire beautiful weekends on the internet, the unbearable agony of holding hands on the street with a gorgeous guy, dreaming all day of getting home and back into pajamas, and wondering when exactly this adulthood thing begins. In other words, the horrors and awkwardness of young modern life. So, It's a graphic novel, just short little comic strips of adulthood. So, and this one actually gives me the chills, but it has kind of like velvet on here in the shirt and in the title, Adulthood is a Myth, so it does have texture, not on the spine, but just right there, and it just kind of gives me the chills. But I am excited to get to this, and I love that it's short. This is just over 100 pages, so yeah. And the next book, Amy actually sent me 2 books, and the other one is The Luminous Dead by Caitlin Starling. This is the author that did, what is it? The Death of Jane Lawrence, with the body horror. And I absolutely love the writing, so I added this to my wish list, and Amy got it for me. So thank you, Amy, for both of these books. And it says, Christine, this is a book that I am super curious about, so I hope you enjoy it. And then I hope you feel better soon, because we were talking about how we needed to push the date of the review for the Chronicles of Narnia and Prince Caspian back a bit. So this one I am excited for. This one says, when Gier Price lied her way, I'm guessing it's Gier, could be wrong. When Gier Price lied her way into this expedition, she thought she'd be mapping mineral deposits, and the greatest dangers might be cave collapses and gear malfunctions. She also thought the fat paycheck meant she'd get a skilled surface team monitoring her suit and environment, keeping her safe, keeping her sane. Instead, she got M. M sees nothing wrong with controlling Gier's body with drugs or withholding critical information to ensure the smooth operation of her expedition. M knows all about Gier's falsified credentials and has no qualms using them as a leash and a lash. And M has secrets too. As Gier descends, mounting inconsistencies, missing supplies, unexpected changes in the route, and worst of all, shifts in M's motivations weigh on her more than the rocks overhead. Lost and disoriented, Gier finds her sense of control giving way to paranoia and anger. On her own, in this mysterious, deadly place, surrounded by darkness and the unknown, Gier must overcome more than just the dangerous terrain and the tunneler that calls the underground its home. If she wants to make it out alive, she must confront the ghosts in her own head. But why can't she shake the feeling she's being followed? So, and I love the hand there. It's very creepy. I am so excited for this. So both of these were from Amy from AStar. Definitely check Amy's channel out. Amy is awesome, and then sometimes her awesome mom pops into the videos too. The two of them are so funny together, and it's so sweet, and it's like, it reminds me a lot of my relationship with my mom, except my mom will never be on camera, so she don't want that, but yeah. Anyway, I see a lot of similarities between myself and Amy's mom and my mom as far as their relationship with each other. So I love it. I love the relationship. I love Amy's channel. So definitely check out Amy's channel. Linked in the description box. So that's it for this haul. Just 10 books. I am very proud that I restrained myself. So not bad. So I only bought out of all of these 2 books, although you can actually count all but 2 books because, no, all but 4 books, because 2 were winners from giveaways, 2 were gifted to me from Amy, the rest I bought with my own money, although 3 of those books were, 4 of those books were from book subscriptions. So that's going to be it for this video. Have you read any of these books? Definitely let me know in the comment section below. Or have you purchased anything recently that you're really excited to get to? Let me know. Talk to me in the comment section below. And until next time, stay true to yourself and enjoy a good book. And I'll talk to you later.